Welcome back, guys. In today's video, I'll be covering molar mass and mass percent. Now, if we look at these two atoms from the periodic table, carbon, which is number 6, and oxygen, which is number 8, we can see these two numbers written at the bottom of each one. Now, these numbers represent the molar mass or atomic mass for these atoms. Okay, so carbon has a molar mass of 12.0107. Oxygen has a molar mass of 15.9994. Now, if you look at the periodic table, every single atom is going to have a molar mass written for it. Now, what is molar mass? So, first of all, the units for molar mass are grams per mole. Now, if you need a refresher on moles, I have a video on my channel that you should check out. Just remember that moles, right, when we talk about moles, we're talking about 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of that thing, right? So the units for molar mass are going to be the grams of that atom, right, per mole of that atom. Okay, so we have 12.0107 grams per 1 mole of carbon, right? And the same for oxygen, we have 15.9994 grams per 1 mole of oxygen. Okay, now molar mass represents an average of the isotopic masses of that atom. Now, if you want a refresher on isotopes and how to get this average, right, this molar mass or average atomic mass, check out my video on isotopes and I go over exactly how to calculate these numbers. But for now, we just know that this is the molar mass, right, and it's going to help us solve problems. So, if we check out these practice problems over here, if we're asked to determine the molar mass of CO2 to 4 sig figs, how can we do that? Well, if we're going to determine the molar mass of a molecule, we just have to add up the molar mass of each individual atom. So to do that, let's take the molar mass of carbon, right, which is 12.0107, right, and add the molar mass of oxygen. But we need to be careful here, right, because we need to multiply this number by 2 because there are 2 oxygens. So this is going to be 2 times 15.9994. Okay, now when we get our number, right, we're going to get 44.0095. Okay, we want to have this number in 4 sig figs. So what we're going to do is we're going to round this to 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. Let's put a 1 here, right? Let's round up. So let's get rid of this and call this 44.01. Okay, so this is going to be 44.01 grams per mole. That's going to be the molar mass of CO2. Okay, now, if we want to look at mass percent, we're going to need the molar mass, right? It says determine the mass percent of carbon and oxygen in CO2. What we're trying to do with mass percent is come up with how much of this molecule of CO2 is carbon and how much of this molecule of CO2 is oxygen, right? What percentage of the molar mass is coming from carbon and what percentage of the molar mass is coming from oxygen, right? So in order to do that, what we can do, right, is we can take the molar mass of carbon, if we're looking for the mass percent of carbon, right, and say the mass percent of carbon in carbon dioxide, right, CO2, is going to be the molar mass of carbon divided by the total mass, okay? So when you're doing mass percent, you're taking a percentage. The part that you're looking at over the entire mass, right? This is 44.01, right? And when you do a percent, make sure to multiply whatever decimal you get by 100%, okay? So if we do that out, we get 0.272908. 0.272908. Now, if we multiply that by 100%, we get 27.29, right? And let's keep this in 4 sig figs, right? So this is going to be 27.29%. Okay? So 27.29% of CO2 is coming from carbon. Now, we could either do 100% minus this to get oxygen, or we could do it out, like we did for this. So we can do 2 times 15.9994, right? That's the mass of oxygen in CO2, right? Don't forget to multiply by 2 here, divided by the 44.01. Let's multiply this by 100%, right? And we're going to get 0.72708, 0.72708. And when we multiply by 100%, we're going to move this over 2 to the right. So this is going to be 72.7. Let's keep this for sig figs. We'll make this a 1. Okay, so this is 72.71%. Okay, so we went over molar mass, right? We can see that from the table, right? And if you want to get the molar mass of a molecule, add them up, right? Add each individual atom's molar mass up, right? And if you want to get the mass percent, take the mass of that thing and divide it by the total molar mass and multiply it by 100%. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and make sure to check out more on the channel.